Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I am Robert with Sherburn Outdoors, and today I actually think I'm going to say something I thought I'd never say. I think my Jeep build is complete. We are here in the Cohutta Wilderness. It is almost Thanksgiving, and it's a little chilly this morning. It's supposed to get down to 20 by the end of the week, but I wanted to get one nice night in before we started having to use diesel heater all the time. This past couple weeks, after putting the Goose Gear system in, I feel like I am complete on the Jeep build. It's taken a while, and I'll tell you, it was expensive. So what I wanted to do was just walk around and go through all of these different categories of where I am. And just to make sure I catch them all, we're going to look at wheels and suspension, bumpers and recovery gear, protection, lighting, exterior, interior, and then, even though I say I'm finished, things that I might do in the future. But I don't want to make this too long, so I'm just going to include the prices on the screen as we kind of go around. Don't tell my wife, but this was super expensive. So I bought this Jeep Gladiator Mojave completely loaded in the middle of COVID, exactly almost 4 years ago, and way overpaid. I think I walked out of the door with everything on it, and I do mean completely loaded. I think it was like 80 grand with tax and a 100,000 mile warranty, everything. So pretty expensive. I know you can get them probably a lot cheaper now, but then the build started, and that's when the actual prices incurred. So, hey, the things I'm going to talk about today are just product prices. My boys over at Hicks Automotive, Thad Taylor, if you ever need anything done from your Jeep, they did almost everything on here, and it was extensive. So without further ado, let's get into it. So you can't have a real Jeep without having a lift, wheels, suspension, all the stuff that go along with this. So let's start off with the wheels. Right there, we have the Fuel Rebel 5, and these are gunmetal. And I will tell you, I absolutely love these. These took me a while to find what I was looking for, but after I found them, I loved them. These are, again, Fuel Rebel 5. Gunmetals, they're kind of pricey as well. They're like $350 a piece. With that, I have it paired up with a 35-inch Nitto Ridge Grappler, also about $350 to $375 each. And these have worked really good. You can see we got pretty new tires on here. This is actually my second set. I'm up to 60,000 miles on here. But with all that said, this required a TerraFlex 1.5-inch leveling kit that we put on here. And it kind of gave me the lift I was looking for with this. Now, when we put all this extra weight on here, we did put a steering stabilizer underneath of there from Steer Smarts, and that helped a lot. With the suspension, we'll get into this back part here, but the booty of this thing is getting pretty heavy with all of the stuff that we'll look at here in a bit, and we started getting some sagging on the rear suspension, so I went to airbags. So you can see up in there inside the rear springs, we've got those red airbags. I actually bought these off of Amazon for like 115 bucks, whatever the prices are in there, and they were fairly easy to put in. I do have a valve right here that we keep at about 30 psi, and it stabilized the truck with all the extra weight, and it brought everything back up and reduced all of the sagging. So now that we got the tires, wheels, and suspension covered, let's talk about bumpers and recovery gear. You gotta have them. Now these Mojaves come with plastic front bumpers, and that just wasn't going to work for me for what I was doing. I do live up Blue Ridge Mountains, and I wanted a steel bumper with recovery gear. So this is on front and back. This is a Mopar bumper, and it is a steel front bumper, and it is expensive. Just the bumper itself with the three-part part, we bought it off of Quadratech. It's about $1,586. We went ahead and got the winch components for it as well, so that we could put in all of the different winch pieces, and that was another $612. And then I did want the guards up here as well, and that was another $359. And then we put in the winch itself. So this is a 10K Warn winch that I like a lot, and it was $949. And then I always switch out everything to a factory 55. I like that closed loop recovery that comes along with that, and that was about $146. And so that's the front one. If we just kind of scroll around the side here and look at the back bumper, it was the same as well. It started off with a big plastic bumper that they come with, and we did put again, a Mopar Rubicon rear bumper on, and it was $1,000. And so the only other piece of recovery gear that we have is we do have max tracks up here on top. I was going to talk about this a little bit later, but I've got 2 on here, and these were set up with so that we can have 2 more and have a total of 4. And then I've got the max tracks mounting gear as well to hold them in place. I've been very, very happy with that. All right, let's get into what I would call protection. And one of the first things that I like in the back here is this Red Rock bed slide rock rails. It's a lot to say in one thing, but it does 2 things. It actually protects this whole back area back here, but it also does give me a step to get up. The back end of this thing is now pretty tall. The other 2 items of protection we have, not in addition to all of the stuff that comes with it, there's a lot of protection underneath, is these are the Mopar rock rails. Love these. The bottom of them are pretty scratched up a little bit. They've done a really good job. Now, I did not install these. These actually came from the factory, but I've been very happy with them. They operate both as a guard and also as a step to get up. The third piece of protection also came from the factory, but this massive skid plate up front here that's specifically designed for the Mojaves. I love this. I know Thad and them at Hicks Automotive had to do some cutting on this Rubicon bumper to get everything to fit, but that's our third part of protection. Let's talk lighting. If you're going out and about like I do and you're showing up at various times of the day, you need lighting. And I've got lighting in 4 components: rear, front, and bottom. Let's talk about the front. And right here next to the winch on the kind of the grill guard, we have Mopar 7-inch, and these are 8,000 lumens. And they are completely waterproof. You can submerge them. Haven't done this yet, but we've gotten pretty close, and they are super expensive. Now these are almost 4 years old. I probably would do something different now if we did it, but they were $949. Up here we have the Mopar 5-inch LEDs. And again, I probably would have did something different. It also has the KC lighting brackets at the bottom. And these were also expensive. These were $623. On the back, integrated into the bumper, this used to be reflectors, but I did put in these particular ones from Vision X lights. These are 4,000 lumens. They're $339. Completely love them. They've worked really well. And then underneath the bottom, in all the wheel wells, we have 12 rock lights. You can kind of see it right there. But they're magnetic, and we've got them all throughout the entire build here, and they are from Lux Lighting, and they were $579. The other part is we have the factory switches that came built in. If you don't have these out of the gate, you can load these, but they are $410. All right, let's talk about some of the exterior options that I have in here that I absolutely love. And the first one being the spray-in bed liner. If you don't have one of these in your Jeeps or you're buying a new one, this is one thing I can highly recommend, is to get a spray-in bed liner. I would tell you, it's not that much money. It's only $555 from the factory, but I would advise doing it if you could. If we start looking here from the front, kind of from the bed up, I did put in a full deck system. Love my deck system. It has all of my organization pieces, everything that goes along with that. Now, I will tell you, it is expensive. Just the box itself with everything is $15.99. And then I did add all of the accessories, different pieces and parts that go along with that. And that was roughly another $700. So crazy expensive. If we just come up to our racking system, I am big into the billy bars. So because they are low profile and I can keep it below the cab. But even the billy bars, I mean, they have some costs, and they are what I call best of breed, and they are really built to last. Really built to last. With the bars, the molly panels, the specialized roof rack connection for your rooftop tent, and then an awning system. This was roughly $1569 or $1550, so kind of expensive. If we go to the side here, you can see I have this all set up with a water port and a rotopack system, And then I love my Ironman 4x4 Delta Wing 270. So this is just so easy to set up. Also, you know, kind of expensive as well. It was about $850. Now let's talk about the most expensive thing here is the Roof Nest Condor Overland 2. And why did I get this? A couple reasons. Well, first of all, it is just so expensive. I can't even, in all, with everything on this, and that includes the bars up top, the integrated air mattress that comes with it, it was $3,649. Now, why on earth would I spend that much? One of the things was I wanted this to be able to set up so fast, and I've done some videos on that. It is a hard shell aluminum, but it does have tracks here that I can do things with. So I have some crossbars at the top that are holding in the max tracks. On the back, I've got something for trail racks to hold in our axe and our shovel here. You can see here I put in some things here for a fire extinguisher. And then I have a bunch of room up here that I was going to put in a solar panel, but with the invention of the DC to DC charger, that is just kind of obsolete at this point in time. We'll get into that in a second. But this is the back of my rig and all the different pieces. I'm not going through all the camping gear. I've got lots of videos on that. The only thing I see changing on here is maybe 2 more max tracks and then mounting permanently or some kind of semi-permanently for my Starlink Mini. But this is ideal. I'm able to store firewood and stuff underneath of there, the diesel heater when it's cold, and everything's outside. Just very easy. All right, let's talk about interior stuff. I gotta be honest, other than floor mats in the front seat, I really haven't done anything on the interior on the front side, but on the back side, done quite a bit. I pulled out the back seats and went with a Goose Gear seat delete in the back, and I will tell you, all in with the specialized straps that I got and both sides, that was $1,260. Yeah, that was a little expensive. But I have so much space back here now. I got my 45-liter set power fridge that I leave in there all the time, and then I've got 2 power stations here, an AC 180 and a Elite 200 V2. And then I've got them hooked into a Charger 1 DC to DC charger. And it is underneath of here. And these, I mean, this doesn't even move. I've got this strapped down. These are strapped down. And I have so much organization and so much more room and so much more height if I need to come up. In addition, I put from a company called Seat Delete here in the back, a shelving system, and it's called Back Seat Delete. It was $200. It fits right over the hooks that are inside of there, and it is great. I keep a variety of things in here. I got power strips, and it has really helped organize. You can see I got a lot of space back there, but this is the back seat. You know, and it wasn't cheap. All this stuff inside of here, you know, was a little bit pricey. But that is the interior upgrades that have been done. So, I mean, that's a pretty high level overview. I've got a bunch of different videos on my site that go through a lot of different pieces and parts of me actually doing this over the last several years. But in theory, I think I'm done. I don't know what that means, but right now I like my rig. I like the setup that we're at. I like the suspension, the tires, the recovery gear, the bumpers, the winch. Loving the seat delete from Goose Gear in the back and how that's organized with the Blue Eddy products and all of that working together with the Charger 1 that's hooked into my battery. I just, you know, it's just a really good setup, and it works 4 seasons right now because I can put in my air conditioner and it'll actually recharge while we're driving around going from site to site during the day. The batteries recharge. We've got Starlink. It just all works together. So never say never that your build is not done, but I think I'm pretty 99% complete. I might have a few little things here and there. Let's talk about the future. So would I ever change anything on this build? You know, I would. I love Carrie over at the Trail Traveler site. I've been kind of interacting with him a little bit lately on a variety of things from diesel heaters to camping. He has this great site. He's located in Colorado. A dirt box canopy. I will tell you, if I were to do something next, that would be it. That's like, anywhere from 11,000 to 15,000 once you get all of the upgrades in there, but it's got the integrated wedge tent in there. Everything's enclosed, a lot of power options. It's just a nice integrated system. If I were to do anything in the future, that would be it. But with that said, I think I'm complete. Look for more videos of me camping around in a complete Jeep Mojave 2021 that's been fully outfitted at this point in time. Hey, I know this was a little bit longer of a video and I appreciate everybody's time. Hey, if you got any value out of this, please click that like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click that bell to be notified when we got new content out. Again, I am Robert with Sherburn Outdoors. Thank you so much for your time.